Friday news day. I gotta do this quick. I got a hair appointment. Today's actually Wednesday, but I got a haircut appointment at 1:30 with Donna. I had it last week. I had to cancel it because when I went to go down there, my golf cart, the battery was dead. So it's 5 years old. So down here, the heat is what kills the battery. So at 5 years old, that's about the life of a battery, even in a car. That's what I find. You might get more, but the odds are you may even get a little less. But this one here was working fine on Tuesday. I didn't go very far, but I went, around down the road a little bit and came back. And Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, when I went to go down and get a haircut, dead that fast. I charged it up, it seemed to work okay. I put it in the garage. I got up Thursday morning thinking, well, I'll run down and get a haircut real quick on Thursday. Got back into it Thursday morning, dead overnight. So when you get a battery, I didn't want to run around looking for a good price. Also, battery prices here in Florida seem to be a lot higher than they are up in the Midwest. A 12-volt battery for my Yamaha golf cart is at the Yamaha golf cart store, the Village's golf cart store. I just went down there real quick, picked one up, and came back. I didn't really price around. But anyway, it's 99 bucks for a battery plus 7% sales tax in the state of Florida. So it comes to like $105 or something like that for a battery. But it's in, it's out, you're done. I could have probably went to AutoZone or someplace and maybe priced one, but I find some of these batteries are a little different size. It's always a little wider, a little taller, or the positive and negative part of the battery is on opposite ends, and they just don't work in these golf carts because the battery terminals are just long enough, and I want it to stay right. I want it to stay like brand new. I'm not interested in adding stuff, cutting a wire to make it longer. I don't want to do any of that. So 99 bucks, got a new battery, so I should be good to go. So today's the day that I'm getting this cut off. News day, I gotta find it first. Man and woman arrested at villa following altercation after leaving Wildwood bar. Man and woman was arrested at a villa following a drink throwing altercation after they left a Wildwood Paddock Square bar. The couple, 48-year-old Susan Kendra Walker and 33-year-old Michael Patrick Duffy, had been drinking Thursday near a Wildwood bar when they got into a car and returned to their home in the Southern Stars Villa. Walker admitted she threw a drink at Duffy, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. The Tennessee native also struck Duffy in the upper lip, leaving him with a laceration. She claimed it was in self-defense. Whoops. There's her. Once you see him, look at this guy. I'm sorry. Come on, get brighter. The things alcohol will do to you. She packed up her belongings, put them in a car, waited outside the villa, which is owned by, thanks Mommy and Daddy, Duffy's parents, who live in the village of Sable Chase. I ain't gonna read any more of it. It's just basically more kids causing problems. Villager makes plea to keep nearly 300-pound lawn ornament in her yard. The villager makes plea to keep nearly 300-pound lawn ornament in her yard. The Circle Garden Bell lawn ornament at the home of Walter and Ann Tomazowiski at Ravencroft Terrace in the village of Sanibel was the subject of a public hearing Thursday afternoon before the Community Development District Board 9. The complaint about the yard ornament was received May 23rd by community standards. The Tomazowiskis took their case before the Architectural Review Committee on June 13th, but that body determined that request did not fall under their purview. And Tomazowiski made the appeal before the CDD9 board to bid to keep the large yard ornament. This piece has been there for 6 years. Not to sound like I'm making fun here, but your yard ornaments and being out of compliance doesn't have a seniority status. The ornament was created by Henry Studios and cost $850. She offered pictures of the lawn ornament. You can barely see this from the street, and I do see the picture, and I will say, I'm looking at the picture, and she says you can barely see it. I don't see it at all, which makes me wonder where the complaint come from, because we're a complaint-based area, and unless somebody complains about something, even if you're out of compliance, unless somebody complains about it, nothing gets done about it. They just leave it well enough alone. And I kind of agree with that. And so somebody's complained, and it has to be somebody she knows to even know it's even there, because, look here. Let me get it up here. See the yard? See that? I don't even see it. And it's supposed to be in there somewhere, and I don't even see it. However, board members said that was not an option. If we make an exception, it opens the door for a number of other possible exceptions, and that is true. Said she's already made arrangements to have the yard ornament moved next week onto her porch. Porch. Front porch or back porch? I don't know what she's talking about there. I can only assume she means the back porch. If she fails to do so, she could face a series of fines. After the meeting, Wazowski said she plans to plant tomatoes in the spot where the lawn ornament had previously been located. The planting of tomatoes is now permitted, thanks to the action by the legislature allowing vegetable gardens in the front yard. That was done by I believe our governor, I can't think of his name. He passed a law saying that people in the state of Florida can allow vegetable gardens in their front yard. I'm not sure why that has to be a law. I just don't get it. But I can see a certain handful of people taking that law to the ultimate limit just to make a neighbor mad or just to throw something in somebody's face. You know what I mean? I'm not sure it's a good law, but it is a law. And they gave the email address to the person who complained. I don't know if you know that, but in Florida, any email letters, I'll say, that you send to anybody is considered in Florida to be public record. So if you want an anonymous complaint to go to the villages for whatever reason, if you do it by email, that's considered to be public record, and they will tell people who it was or give them a copy of that complaint. If you make a phone call, that's considered to be anonymous. So just know that. Nearly $2 million resurfacing work to begin on Morris and Buena Vista Boulevards. Well-known chef in the villages to debut his own restaurant. It's going to be called Roberto's Restaurante and Pizzeria. And it's going to be next to China, I can't forget what it's called over there, China something. It's at Pinellas Plaza. That's what it looks like to me. Brisk progress being made on new health and wellness supermarket. I think that's up there on 27 and 441, kind of between Lady Lake and I believe Spanish Springs area is where they're building that. Villager's son headed to prison after burglary of neighbor's home. There's what he looks like. Let me get this thing to focus here a little bit. Right there. Man arrested last year in a burglary in the village of Glenbrook is headed to prison. Glenn Stewart Werlin, 55, last week in Sumter County Court, pleaded no contest to charges of burglary and grand theft. He has been sentenced to 18 months with the Florida Department of Corrections. How many times he's been arrested before? Sumter County Sheriff's deputies were called shortly before noon on March the 4th to a burglary. Inside the home, deputy found Werlin, who at the time was living at 3591 Worth Circle, Werline, claimed he had entered the home to reclaim tools that he had loaned to his neighbor. The deputy contacted a woman who owned the home, who was living in an assisted living facility in the villages. She said she knew Werlin because he lived with his parents across the street. Early in 2018, Werlin was placed on probation in order to perform community service in connection with a golf cart crash at Publix at Southern Trace. Werlin served nearly 3 months in a Florida prison in 1999 after he was convicted on a charge of possession of heroin. Exclusive fly-in community Jamberlair, home of John Travolta, on the market for $10.5 million. Oh, John's gonna move. Doggone it. Oh well. You got the kind of money he's got, you can do whatever you want. Ohio woman jailed in theft of merchandise from a store at Brownwood. Where Maria Richard, 52, of Sydney, Ohio, entered Christine's Gift Boutique on Sunday afternoon and was captured on video surveillance putting jewelry, a keychain, and clothes into her purse. Villager who got off easy in 2015 DUI, jailed after dragging barricade under Lexus. A villager who got off easy after a 2015 drunk driving arrest was jailed after she was spotted driving erratically and dragging a traffic barricade under her Lexus. Barbara Davis Hubbard, 77, of the village of Collier, repeatedly crossed the center line and ventured into oncoming traffic at about 10:30 p.m. Sunday while traveling on US 301. According to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, a deputy noticed an orange and white barricade dragging under the vehicle, and the arrest report said the vehicle was pulled over at the intersection of Morse Boulevard and State Road 44. The deputy asked Hubbard if she had been drinking. She replied she'd had a few glasses of wine. She struggled through field sobriety exercise and at one point told the deputy, "I can't even do this when I'm sober." Oh, that was good. She refused to provide a breath sample. She was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence and booked at the Sumter County Detention Office. She had been arrested in 2015 on a charge of driving under the influence after consuming mixed drinks at City Fire. Anyway, second time around. Woman arrested at grand theft charge at Belk at La Plaza Grande. Shoplifters again. Lake Muna Rec Center will be closed July 28th for maintenance. Villager gets anger management in racially fueled parking conflict. That happened a while back. I mean, several months back. So they're just not getting around to that case, apparently. Village's bank finds elderly man caught in $86,000 Homeland Security scam. I can't believe people keep falling for this stuff year after year after year. An 86-year-old Lady Lake man in June had gone to the bank and deposited an $86,000 check drawn on a Wells Fargo account in Georgetown, Texas. Within days, he wired $24,000 to a person in Costa Rica. Man said he had been contacted by Homeland Security in connection with an effort to help people in need, and he would be asked to disperse the funds, according to the incident report. Last week, the 86-year-old returned to the Citizens Bank location on Main Street at Spanish Springs, signed a cashier's check for $61,000 back over to a man in Texas who appeared to be the victim of a scam. Good Lord. You know, I don't know why people will fall for this, because everybody should know. One, no police department in this United States is going to call you up and ask for you to go to Walmart, buy a cash card or anything. They're not going to ask you for cash. No IRS agent or person is going to call you up and ask for money. As far as I know, no government agency is going to call you up and say, you got to go to Walmart and get this $10,000 gift certificate and wire it to me, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. They ain't going to do that. So why do these people keep falling for this? There must be dementia involved. It's always older people. Somebody needs to keep an eye on their relatives here, because they're being bilked out of a bunch of money every now and then. Cleaning lady's son uses garage code to steal $85,000 worth of dead villagers' jewelry. Brand new villagers' loaner golf cart snatched from Spanish Springs restaurant. Technical director at the Sharon reports theft from his vehicle. Girlfriend finds dead boyfriend who overdosed at home in the Villages. And it's showing once again. Can you see that? Anyway, that's Silver Lake area up there. Fruitland Park blesses 25% water rate hike that falls below study's recommendations. Part of the Villages is in Lady Lake, or anyways, Lady Lake area. So So that means there'll be roughly a 25% water hike for parts of the villages over in that area. Chula Vista Recreation Center to be closed for maintenance. Marion Sheriff's deputies bust illegal cockfighting ring at Summerfield Farm. A villager jailed without bond after defying court order. And what you looked at, it's an older lady. They don't care what your problems are. They don't care how old you are. If you defy a court order or do something really stupid around here, like drive drunk or whatever, they will put your old ass in jail. They don't care. So don't think because you're old you're going to get by with being stupid, because it don't work. They will put you in jail. And she's going to jail with no bond. That means failure to what do they call that when you get a court order? Failure to whatever. Anyway, she didn't follow a court order, and that's it. You go back to jail, no bond. That means you're going to sit in jail until that judge decides he wants to see you. And he don't have to see you today. He don't have to see you tomorrow. He don't have to see you this week. I'm not saying he won't do that, but I'm just saying when he decides he wants to see you, that's when you're going to go up and see the judge, and that's when maybe you'll be allowed to either leave or bail yourself back out of jail, because he needs to have a firm talk with you about following court orders. I know that because when I was younger, I went through this. It's not fun. Sumter County officials want to see more gas stations and restaurants at interchanges. You know, I know in the villages with our golf cart, there's gas that you can get. But like right now down here in the Brownwood area, the Shell gas station over here closed. So there's a gas station that was golf cart accessible that's gone. So in my area, the closest gas station to actually buy gas now is over at Pinellas Plaza, which means everybody that went over there now is all going to be going to Pinellas Plaza, which is could cause a little bit of a backup, especially in the wintertime. Or we can go to Brownwood and buy the so-called special golf cart gas, but it's upwards of like around, I don't even know what it is now, but last time I was up there it was close to $4 a gallon. I know you're not buying that much, but I just think that's ridiculous. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go get ready for my haircut. I'd like to read you some more news, but I think that's about it. I might do some later and cut it in. I don't know how long this video's been so far. So when I get to Brownwood, I'm gonna also see if I can get a little bit of an update with my GoPro, because it's raining out today. And I'll get an update on the Brown, what do they call that? The Lofts of Brownwood, the apartment building they're building down there. They're supposed to be age restricted. See if I can get an update on that and maybe a few other things around town. So until then, see you guys on the other side.